and welcome back to the Braves Hip Coil channel. Today, this is not the series preview. Now, we are doing the series preview for the Rockies. That is coming out, and it should already be out. But this is a different segment. This is the state of the offense after the first month of the season. Now, me and Ken got these numbers in before the Tiger series. So this is pre-Tiger series numbers, and we didn't feel like going back and re-editing all that, so forgive us for being lazy. We've been busy. Ken, how are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great. I know I posted on a couple places. I just got back from out west, been out there 2 weeks, and it took me 30 hours to get from Tahoe by flight to Chattanooga. I could have drove it in 28. So, but I'm doing well. The Braves are winning, got best record in MLB, so I'm excited to look back at the offense for the month of April.
It was a very good month, chat. Just know that, okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the standard categories. We'll talk about runners in scoring position, and then we'll dive into the starting lineup hitters that are in the lineup most of the time. We're not doing the bench guys because that's just way too much, and we don't need to do that because they don't participate as much. All right, so Ken, let me dive into these little standard offensive stats for the Braves. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to start with hits. The Atlanta Braves are first in hits with 276. They are first in RBIs at 161. They are second in slugging percentage with a 453. Second in batting average at 274. Second in OPS, a 793 OPS as a team. Third in homers with 40. Third in doubles with 54. And they have the fourth least amount of strikeouts in Major League Baseball at 214. God, that is music to my ears. They are fourth in on-base percentage at 340, and they are number one with the amount of 95 mile per hour or harder baseballs put in play with 331. Ken, how does that sound to you?
That's pretty good. The barrels is insane. To have that many barrels in 1 month is just crazy. I don't know how people are getting us out when you do stats like that. So it's hard to believe we even lost. We lost our 10th game, but it's hard to believe that we've only lost that many games because our offense is raking.
Let's just keep that in perspective for a second. It is, how many games are we in now? 32 games into the season. It took us 32 games to lose 10 games. We lost 10 games in like the first, 13, 14 last year or something ridiculous like that. So, and this offense is a huge reason why I'm not downplaying the pitching, but you literally went from one extreme last year to the complete other extreme this year, and how bad we were doing in 25 to you're a top five offense in dang near every single category right now. And that is so nice to hear and so nice to see. And it has been playing out extremely well. And Ken, the biggest bugaboo for us last year was runners in scoring position. Are you ready to hear some of these numbers?
Yes.
We are first, count it, first in batting average with a 308 batting average. We are first in RBIs at 114. We are third in slugging percentage at 472, third in OBP at 366, and third in OPS with an 838 OPS. That is absolutely ridiculous numbers for runners in scoring position. Ken, that's like a 110 win team if we keep that pace up, right?
Yeah, 100% is. We did our first podcast on the Hardcore Braves podcast. They had a great series against the Royals where they were over 300 with runners in scoring position, and me and you told Braves country. If we do this all year long, there's no telling how many wins we're going to get. Well, the number would probably be about 110. So hopefully we can keep it up for 6 months. But the good thing is that nobody can really complain on anything we're doing offensively. Now we have some players. I know you're going to dive into it that we can work on and has some concerns with. But overall, this offense is raked.
There is no question about that. And I will say this: I looked at the runners in scoring position average last year for us, we hit 241 last year with runners in scoring position, and I thought it was going to be way less than that. I thought we were going to be in like the 210s. Like I hands down thought 210s at best. Nope. There's nothing. I mean, there's absolutely nothing for us to complain on here. The guys aren't striking out; they're putting the ball in play, and when they put the ball in play, they're hitting the crap out of the baseball. And it's just such a nice, refreshing take. Now, look, there are some guys that are off to some slow starts, and I know everybody hates Austin Riley on the Bird app. I understand. We will dive into all that in a little bit, but we're going to talk about the good news first with the guys because we like to be positive on this little segment. Okay. So we're diving into Ryan's rakes, and let me tell you who has been the best rake so far for us. Now, there's a couple, arguably, but Drake Baldwin, Ken, he is slashing a 311 with a 388 OBP and a 521 slug, 7 homers, and 25 RBIs. Talk to me a little about Drake Baldwin.
Drake's just a tough out. He struck out this afternoon. That tells you how good Valdez's stuff was this afternoon. But very rarely is Drake going to go very quickly in the lineup. One of the things that's very noticeable about Drake, though, is you got to be really careful first pitch with him because if he sees a good first pitch, he's going to put it in play. Drake uses all parts of the ballpark. He can hit the ball out now. You can see his power developing. I'm not sure he's going to have 42 home runs this year, but he is going to have a monster year. And I could see him easily having 25 homers and driving in 100 RBIs. And he's one of the 5 that we have hitting over 300 right now that I expect to hit over 300 the whole season. So he's a tremendous player. Anybody who's waiting for a sophomore slump, I don't believe it's coming. Baseball is going to have to deal with him all year long. And I love him hitting in the 2-hole. How about you?
Yeah, the 2-hole is, I think, where everybody really wanted him because he walks. He's a lefty right behind Ronald, and he takes his walks. He takes his pitches. He works counts. Like, he's the perfect prototypical number 2 hitter. So, and he has slotted right in there beautifully behind Jerks, who was supposed to be Jerks and Profar spot, and he's done a way better job than Jerks and Profar probably ever could. So, Braves, just give him the blank check, like right now, please. Give it to him. The kid's absolutely freaking insane. There's no reason to wait on that extension any longer if it's me. So, Alex, get that crap done. Matt Olson is the second rake we are going to talk about. Ken, I know you got a special place with Matty O. Let me give you some good news. He is slashing, and this, again, before Tiger Series, okay? And we all know these numbers went up. He's slashing 296, a 374 OBP, and a 609 slugging percentage with, before the Tiger Series, 8 bombs and 25 RBIs. Ken, talk to me about Matty O.
Well, we've always thought in baseball if Matt Olson somehow could combine average with his power, he'd be an MVP type candidate. And, well, we've got the MVP type candidate in 2026. I don't know if Matt can stay above 300 because he's, after, our stats here, he's ticked up just above it or right at it. But he definitely can carry a 950 to 1,000 OPS because he hits for so much power. And he is one guy that I do think will hit over 40 home runs this year, and he may drive in like 120 RBIs. He's on a massive pace right now, and he just looks so confident at the plate. And I know you've made a point about it a couple of times, and I noticed today, when he makes a strikeout now, he's shocked that he strikes out. That's how confident he is right now. So Matt Olson, of course, is probably our family's favorite Brave. Everybody who knows me knows every one of my grandkids have a jersey. We all have jerseys, and Matt's we've known him since he was 10. And to see his success is great. And I really do think he's got a chance to, we all know that the unicorn on the left coast will probably win the MVP again. But so I say he'll probably be the number 2 this year because he's really having a fantastic year.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put it to you like this. Matt Olson's probably right now my favorite Atlanta Brave that I get to watch hit on a consistent basis. It's probably between him and Drake Baldwin, but I mean, it's just the consistency, right? Like he just doesn't chase. And if he does, he gets upset with himself, and then he comes back in and hits, and he just hits the crap out of the ball where he works a walk. It's just so consistent. I don't even think he's taken a bad swing yet this year. I mean, I'm sure he has, but it's like one a game, if that. Maybe a few times a week he takes a bad swing, and it's been really fun to watch. All right, we're moving on down the line. This is like the little Swiss Army knife for the Atlanta Braves. Mauricio Dubon is hitting right now not right now. This is before Tiger Series. 283, 330 OBP with a 434 slug. He's got a couple bombs, and he has driven in some big runs for the Braves. He's driven in 14 big RBIs, and it seems like every time we needed him to come through, he's come through. Ken, what you got on Mr. Mauricio Dubon?
Well, me and you, not to pat ourselves on the back, when we made the trade, told all the Braves country that would listen to us, this would be a huge pickup for us because he can play anywhere, play Gold Glove anywhere, and his at-bats, he's not going to put up huge numbers, but he will put up big numbers for you. He will hit. So even like today, we had a situation where we had a failure in front of him, and we really needed to get run on. And again, Valdez had great stuff today, and he had an absolute rope in the right center. The way he hits the ball, middle, backside, is beautiful. And I think when we get our whole lineup together and Mauricio can slide down into that 8 spot or 9 spot, he's going to be dangerous. And he's going to knock in some people and win us some ball games. I absolutely love this player, and I have for a long time, and I think he's a perfect fit for our lineup.
I 100% agree with you. I really want Dubon back for the next few years because he's just such a good player. Look, he's not the superstar. He's not the guy who's going to make, $40 million a year, but he's going to be the scrappy shortstop or scrappy utility guy that every team needs. He's going to go out there, hit you 270. He's going to drive in big runs, and he's going to pop you 10 to 15 bombs a year. Like that. That's Mauricio Dubon, and I would love to have that every single year on my team, especially with how good of defense he plays at every single position on the field, just about. So we're moving on, and this young laddie had an absolutely dreadful year last year. Ken, he sucked. Michael Harris sucked last year, but let me tell you, Money Mike's back, okay? Michael Harris is gone. Money Mike is back. He is slashing 323 with a 360 OBP, and wait for this, a 559 slugging percentage. He's got 6 homers, 20 RBIs, and at the time he had 6 walks, but I'm pretty sure he bumped that up to 7. So he's on the 40 walk wagon right now. Ken, talk to me about Money Mike.
We've always thought Money could be a 30-30 player, definitely a 25-25 player, and he has a chance. Now the problem is that God bless him, he gets hot and he's kind of got a little tweak in his quad right now, so the running probably won't be there. But if Olson is the most confident hitter on the team, Money Mike may be right there giving him a run because Money, even when he makes outs now, they're productive. He still every once in a while will hit a pitch, but there was a pitch this past weekend against Philadelphia, Ryan, you pointed out. It was probably a good 6 inches off the plate. He absolutely hit a rope into left field. When he uses that side of the field, he's beautiful. We know he's got the dad strength going on with his boy Tripp being born. We've all rooted for him, and he's a great guy, and he's an Atlanta kid, and for him to finally produce like he wants to and we want him to is beautiful to see.
It absolutely is. But what we got next is, probably the longest tenured Atlanta Brave, and everybody seemed to giving up on him, and they didn't want him back, and let me tell you about the little monster, Ozzie Albies. I am so glad that the Atlanta Braves didn't listen to anybody on Twitter because they needed to bring him back. And right now, he is hitting 316 with a 355 OBP and a 491 slugging percentage. And that's before he absolutely went off on the Tigers this year, the series. And right now he's got 5 bombs, 16 RBIs, and 7 walks. 7 walks for the little monster. And he had a big series against the Tigers that only increased those numbers. So Ken, talk to me about the little monster.
We were talking about Matt being the maybe a MVP candidate for the National League behind Ohtani, most likely. But the Braves MVP this year has got to be Ozzie Albies. Ozzie Albies is the captain of this team. Everybody knows that. He doesn't put the C on his chest, but he's the leader. And he's just absolutely having great at-bats. Left, right-handed, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Tough pitcher, hard thrower, curveball pitcher, sweeper pitcher. He is putting the ball in play, and it's wonderful. And, he's in one of these weird situations where the Braves have the options on him for next year. I fully expect he continues it this year. He will retire an Atlanta Brave because he's not really all for the money, and I could see him signing an extension that gets him all the way to the end of his career. And can't happen to a better guy. Ozzie's probably – they're all great guys, but Ozzie Albies got to be one of the best guys in the MLB.
100% agree with you. Ozzie Albies is probably one of my favorite Atlanta Braves. I mean, I heard about the kid the entire time when he was in the minor leagues. Couldn't wait to see him, and he's been every bit of that and then some for the Atlanta Braves in his career so far. And I'm so happy to see him back. I mean, he has just put up an unbelievable year so far, and I really hope it continues for him. Now, that's not to say he's not going to have his slumps because every hitter goes through a little bit of a lull here and there, but the consistency he's provided so far this year has been unmatched. And this next guy, Ken, he wasn't even in consideration. He wasn't in anybody's thoughts before the season started. He just got a spring training invite, and you know what? He raked the entire spring, and then he started raking in April when the season started. Dom Smith, 349 average, a 373 OBP, and a 571 slug. Oh, yeah, by the way, he had a walk-off grand slam for one of his 4 bombs that he's hit, and he's driven in 17 big runs. What you got on Dom Smith?
He's been the biggest surprise we've had this year. And one of the biggest holes we had in 2025 was Marcell. And a lot of it's just Marcell's body starting to wear out on him a little bit, and that's understandable. Marcell did a lot for us, so we're not going to throw him under the bus, but he definitely was a hole at the DH. Dom has carried us at the DH spot. Hopefully when Murphy gets back and Kim gets back, we can clean up a little bit against left-handed pitchers. But against right-handed pitchers, this lineup rakes, and Dom Smith looks confident. I think he's been finally given the chance that he's needed. The Mets and Giants did not give him that full chance. He's getting it, and you're seeing what he can do. He's another guy that can hit the ball backside, and these left-handers can hit the ball backside, which every one of our left-handers can. That means they can be good hitters, and is a surprise he's over 300, yes, but do I expect him somehow to finish around 280 in a productive year? I do.
Yes, sir, but that's the end of the nice part of it, Ken. Now we're getting into the dreadful part, the guys who are slumping. And we're going to start with the most productive one, and that is Mr. Ronald Acuna Jr. He is slashing 239, a respectable 356 OBP, but he's got a 358 slugging percentage, which is not Mr. Ronald-like. Only 2 homers, only 4 RBIs. He has scored 14 runs, though, and he's gotten 6 stolen bases, and I have lost count how many times my boy has gotten picked off of first base. What have you seen from Ronald so far this year?
Well, it's interesting with Ronald. You broke him down, and everybody that follows Braves Hip Coil and Hardcore Braves know it's all about his adjustment, getting his hands right and his lower half right together. He's changed his stance a little bit. He actually had a decent series up to today against the Tigers. And then, like I said, I think everybody needs to do a one-off today because Valdez was great today. And so I'm not going to put a lot into it. Hopefully he'll get right on the West Coast trip. But, yeah, the power's not really been there. He's hit the ball hard a few times, but it's not really been productive. But we know he's healthy because he's running around the bases and making defensive plays that we haven't seen in a few years. So have faith, Braves country. He's healthy. He's running around. He will figure this out, and when he does, somebody's going to pay the price. And the fact of the matter is all these guys being hot will regress a little bit and have slumps. It'd be a perfect time for Ronnie to carry us, and hopefully he'll be able to do that.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that breakdown, it is on the YouTube channel at Braves Hip Cool. It is also on Hardcore Braves. It is also on my X at Disgusting Braves Homer 27. Ronald has a lot going on that he's not doing correctly with his lower half. He is starting to clean it up. I have seen improvement, but it's just not there yet. That's why you're not seeing the powers, because his hips are off, but his hands are in a better spot. He's just got to get consistent with them, and that takes time, especially when you're going through an adjustment period. So I do expect Ronald to have a monster year still, even though he's off to a slow start. This next fella, he was one of the bigger signings that we had this offseason, and he's gotten off to a dreadful start this year after a really good spring, and that is Mike Yastrzemski. He is slashing 188, 266, and a 247 slug with only 5 RBIs, no homers. Ken, talk to me about Yaz.
His is all about pitch recognition. He's just not seeing the ball. You can tell that he takes pitches down the middle for strikes, swinging stuff over his head. Now, with that said, they gave him finally a day off on Sunday. At a day off Monday, he did look better in the Tiger series. He swung the bat good today. He had a hard ground ball down the line that Torkelson made a really good play on it first. Then he got a base hit his second at bat. So, come on, Braves fans, let's have faith. Yaz is going to pull out of this. His number will find its level, so he's another one. Maybe it's a good thing he's been off to a slow start and he can find it. But definitely it's pitch recognition. Me and Ryan, right back and forth. He'll take one right down the middle and then swing at one up here, and that's just you're not seeing the ball out of the pitcher's hand. So some days off, I think it'll help him. And he had technically a day off today a little bit. He didn't have to start the game, so. Let's see how he does in Colorado. And he'll have a few in the gap. We'll start feeling a little bit better. But right now, it's been a disappointing start to Yaz's career with the Braves.
Yeah, unfortunately, it has not been good. And normally, when you're not seeing the ball, more than likely your head's moving too much when you're striding forward and you're crashing on that front side. I'm not saying that's what Yaz is doing, but that's, for me as a hitter, that's what I did a lot when I was having a hard time with pitch recognition personally. So, hopefully Yaz is figuring the kinks out, because he did look better in the Tiger series. So, and here you guys are. I know y'all absolutely love to hate on this guy. I know he's got the biggest contract in Braves franchise history and yada, yada, yada. Austin Riley. Now, look, his numbers have gotten worse because he had a horrible series against the Tigers, but this is what he was prior to the Tiger series. He was hitting 209 with a 298 OBP and a 345 slug. He had 3 homers, 2 of them coming in the Philly series, and 17 RBIs. Ken, what you got on Big Thick?
Let everybody know, because everybody's going to bring it up. He was 0 for 11 in the Tiger series with 8 more strikeouts, 1 walk. Austin looks as confused as I've ever seen him at the plate. Even his foul balls today, I was in the ballpark today, were not even impressive. Now, with that said, he's also in some bad luck. He did hit one rope today on a changeup that he missed by about 4 inches, being a double down the line. And that seems how it goes. When you're going bad, everything goes the other way. If you're going good, that thing lands fair right on the chalk and he gets a double. I think I've not seen a Brave struggle like this, like he doesn't really know. And I'm not saying he's going to have this kind of career, but B.J. Upton's the last one that when I seen him go to the plate, I felt bad for him going to the plate. And that's how I felt about with Austin. But I will say this, I told this to Ryan. We were talking, both of us driving home, of all things. But he's not taking it to the field. He's not taking it to his teammates. He's a really good teammate. And he's just a great, hard-working dude. Maybe he's working too hard. Ryan talks about it being in his head a lot, and he keeps changing his stance and his swing. And I think he did a breakdown today on X, if you saw it. It's a lot going on, and the more he can get still and stay with the same swing and do it, to me, he'll get over it. But we tend to win when Austin goes. We're 22-10 without him going. So if he can start going, guys, we can get to 100 wins this year.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the post, it is on my X at Disgusting Braves Homer 27. Unfortunately, I'll just give you a quick side glance of it right now. But his hips, his butt is literally leaving as he's swinging. What I mean by that, his bottom is literally going towards the third baseman, and he is bending more at his waist, which is causing him to swing underneath the baseball a lot lately. Now, I called it this series. I don't know when it started. I don't know if it started in Washington. He looked like he was just off a little bit, but ever since the Tiger series, for sure, he's just looked awful. So that has his posture. He's not holding his posture really well through his swing right now. So hopefully he's able to fix that and right the ship. And it seems to only be on outside pitches, and that might be because he's pulling off the ball hard right now and having a hard time staying back and staying through the baseball. So what I would do is a lot of directional work, and I would have him really feel the ground and stay grounded a lot more as a hitter, because that's when you're going to stay tall and stay stacked on your backside and have really good direction. So that is this state of the offense. The boys are 22-10 at this point in the season after April, and that is probably one of the best Aprils that we have had in a long time. The New York Mets and the Philadelphia Phillies are both well below us right now in the standings, and that is always a good sign. And to summarize, the Braves are a top 3 offense in the game right now. And oh yeah, by the way, one more little thing: they have the best run differential right now. I think it was like plus 69. We lost by what? 1 run today, Ken?
We lost 5-2 today.
So we lost by 3. So you're at a 66 run differential right now for the Atlanta Braves. That is pretty daggum good in the first month. So, Ken, before we get out of here, you got anything else to add?
Not really. One thing about Austin, and you can, I guess, address it on the hip coil. So I'll make sure to tease that. You're going to have to watch on hip coil. He's going to get into it more. One thing is Austin has been okay against left-handers, other than today. Again, Valdez was good. So I believe Ryan is right. The reason the right-handers is he's trying to get his body out to hit that fastball, and everything's flying open. You know, Tim Hires knows that. You know, Walt Weiss knows that. So hopefully they can get it fixed, because I think it was I want to give credit where credit's due. I think it was Grant McCauley put that out. He's hitting like 121 against right-handed pitching and 300 against left-handed. So what I'm saying is there is hope. Right? He's not just being like totally blind. He's hitting one side. He needs to learn how to hit the other side. But with that said, great April. I hope we have just as good May to report on when we get back to the state of the offense.
Absolutely. And until then, we will see you guys on at Hardcore Braves and at Braves Hip Coil. So tune in to the series previews we do before every single series over there on Braves Hip Coil. And then we do a series recap in the podcast on at Hardcore Braves. I am Ryan. That is Ken. And we are done.
You know what, boys? You guys are going to be world champions for the rest of your life.